Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit about my game mechanics, along with playing through about half of my level. I think that gets the point across. WSD to move, space to jump. Found a bug immediately, very cool. Let's see. Jumping has my vaulting system. Require them to pretty much practice these principles before moving to the section. They see where their next location they need to be. Challenge them a little more. They touch the red spots, they take damage. Here they would learn how to attack. The actually picking up their weapon isn't scripted yet, along with dodging. They have to attack the gate to open it, and then they are faced with an enemy. Enemy can deal damage, and I can kill the enemy. Moving right along, they are shown their main objective, but no way to obtain it quite yet, so they go on, and I expect them to explore. We can pick up treasure. UI is here. My prefab for treasure is being messed with currently, so the UI doesn't show up here, but it'll show up in a tomb later on. Here's the treasure distraction tutorial. Essentially, this is to teach the player that the enemies like the treasure, they want it, and they will collect treasure rather than attacking the player if the treasure is nearby. Another enemy here. Let me see if I can show... Oh, I'll show it off in the next pack. Essentially, if the player hits the red hazards, they take damage. Alternatively, I can push the enemies into it via knockback. If I can pull it off, let me get this last one. Come here, little bud. I wonder, can I chicken the hand this? Oh, alright, well, that was not intended. He wasn't supposed to be able to do that. But he killed himself, so that's good. This is also where they would show, this is the tutorial for how the player throws out treasure. They gain the ability after the tutorial we were just at. Moving on. Two enemies here. This area is very buggy. The nav mesh is being very strange here, so I'm just gonna, along with my dodge roll here. This is where the player would normally learn to heal, or refill their canteen. It would seem my healing tutorial isn't working at the moment either, which is news to me. There's the more up-to-date prefab there. It affects my UI. I find that when you have movement like that, it really drags the player's eye and just shows them what's actually happening. Here's where they would be able to pick up the item to move these blocks. Move on. This is the only block in my game so far that just won't move when I grab it. So I don't know why it's doing that. I also found a bug here where I can just jump up, so that doesn't really break anything for the moment. Moving on. You backtrack a little bit here. Push this. Like, all my other boxes work, as you saw right there. Everything's fine. It's just for whatever reason that doesn't work. These are, once again, the other prefab. There's an issue with this block here. I'll change that later. Little secret behind here. Kind of difficult to see, kind of intentionally at the same time. So, I don't mind it. Push this down. Blocks adhere to gravity, as they would have learned back in the, back with the block that just refused to move. Oh, there we go. Oh. Pack of enemies. It's just kind of rinse and repeat now at this point. The tutorial section is over. Now they just get to play the game, essentially. I'll play up to finishing this next tutorial, and then I'll probably call it there. So here they would be announced these, introduced rather, to these 3 statues. 2 of those with empty slots at the bottom. This one is broken, but it has the cube at the bottom. That was supposed to signify that they're supposed to put the cubes there. So that one off to the side here, I'll pick up. So yeah, the puzzle just revolves around getting the cubes that are above the statues, which are actually kind of impossible to see. I should change that. It's new. Huh. I thought you could see those previously. But yeah, you have to use this cube to get up here. So it's like a two-parter type of thing. Should be enemies down there, but they're not. This is like part showing off my game and part to-do list, it would seem. Yeah, as you can see, the cubes over there, they're both on top of the two what would have been statues. Plug it in, a little effect to show that you've plugged it in correctly. Maybe I can do the thing here. Well, I guess I already showed it off before, but my attack is actually kind of buggy. Almost died. My big enemy is not quite up to date as well. This guy could probably kill me. There we go. And then a little effect that goes off. And these cubes can be done in either order, it doesn't matter. I could have plugged that one in, then came back to plug this in, then that one last. It'll have the same effect, which is... Get in there. Whoa. There we go. Ooh. Okay, the floor drops out. And drop down. And the cylinder in the center is turned blue. Essentially, the point is that cylinder in the center is a fountain that you have to turn on, and you have to turn on two fountains to open the gate that the player sees earlier here in the hub area. If we go back to it, one of the two squares has turned blue. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The other side of my level is, because I'm taking so many things apart right now, currently not completable. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah.